was part of the meeting and mediating with the different parties for the inclusionary housing ordinance. She's done planning and convening for the Housing Summit. She performs the tribal consultation function, which is a requirement of long-range planning processes. And I'm pleased to announce has worked with Wallala Redwoods and applied for and obtained designation for that Wallala site in the Targeted Brownfield Assessment Program, which means that there will be, the federal government will pay for an assessment of that property to determine how it might be cleaned up. And that's a good thing, looking at cleaning up property. There, it's been mentioned as a possible site for housing in the future, but that's a long ways away in the short term. The issue here is being able to do cleanup. So that's a great accomplishment. Jessica Stellato is the newest member of the team. I would characterize her as playing well with ideas. She's a newly minted planner, but she kind of has old soul curiosity and fearlessness. As you know, she got involved with the data review for the Mendocino Town Plan, and she's willing to research old conflicts and walk into new situations, and there's a lot of promise there. And then last but not least, Sally Palacio, who is the administrative assistant for the team, holds down the fort, writing, noticing, communicating, all those things. She is, in fact, the public face and public voice, if you will, for people calling in and coming in to talk about the planning team. And the planning team, it's not perfect, but has really tried to make their website as user-friendly as possible, get information out, and really be responsive to the public around a lot of paper that's there. And in the end, what they are all together is a team, in every sense of the word, working jointly on projects, filling in for each other, coming together to meet challenges, whether it's a topical challenge or a scheduling challenge or whatever. And I think it's that teamwork that also represents something that is exemplary in employees. Finally, I need to mention Phil Gorney, who, despite retirement, or because of retirement, brought incomparable expertise, experience, and temperament to the management of the team for the greatest length of time in its life here. And then Audrey Knight, who has performed that service most essentially over the last several months. Finally, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I've seen my role as being one of a cow catcher, if you will. I try and clear the debris off the tracks so that the train can keep moving forward. And you can judge how successfully I've tried to bring a focus to timeframes here and really trying to keep things on schedule, even if it is a changing schedule. In the end, I think the discussion of ideas here, the concept of smart growth is not just the results of a process, it's also the process itself. And it's something that we always need to strive, and we can continue to do even better with as far as engaging the public in planning for their own future. It's difficult to pull this off, even with non-controversial topics, and we're certainly not in the non-controversial realm, but we have endeavored to carry through an objective and balanced process. And that's kind of the final piece I'll leave you with the planning team. Planners are nothing if not opinionated. I've learned that. However, what we have striven to do is to provide the background to the board so that those decisions can be made, and to not, the planning team itself not taking a particular stand except for hopefully on the quality of the product that's before you. So, Nash Gonzalez comes from a background of county service and consulting, long-range planning and short-range planning. He's a 21st century director, and I believe that he will pull all of this together: long-range planning, current planning, building inspection, and code enforcement in something that works together. So thank you very much, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from board members? Supervisor Smith?
Thank you very much. So, Ms. Glassie, the only comment I have is that this has, of course, been a changing document, as we know, with
Yes.
respect to the timeframes, and I think you've really done your best in terms of, as you said, keeping it moving in an ever-changing environment, interfaces with both the public, the decision makers, consultants, staff, and I think that you've really tried to consider all those elements, but keep it going forward. My comment today relates to the public's information stream, and I had received calls before from the public wanting to know how they accessed information with respect to the Mendocino Town Plan and the local coastal plan, and you had said that it had been on the website, but it had been changing, so it wasn't currently on the website. That's where I need to direct folks that want to monitor it on a very close basis is, I think, to the county's website, to give them the timeframes for their interest areas, be it, other municipal concerns or constituency concerns, special district concerns with respect to those processes that relate to the coast. So is this document now online, and can we make sure that even if changes are made, that it will remain online and updates will be made, and there will be a caveat listed that, this is a fluid document and you need to check back. So I just want to make sure that something's available for the public online.
And the goal was, after this is presented to you, it's going to go up online. And yes, we will definitely put a caveat, but this will be online, and then people will be able to see it.
Great. Thank you.
Supervisor Brown?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to inform the other board members that I will be I'm planning to will be attending the Planning Commission meeting that's coming up on February 5th, I believe it is, to hear the update.
Thank you. Supervisor Colfax?
With regard to the planning team work program update here, the one with the checkered border, could you give us a little bit of a sense of there's almost a 9-month gap here between data collection for the Mendocino Town Plan and then data review, staff report released to public. In between, you have the Highway 1 corridor study reviewed, but in the scheme of things, I would regard that as important, but here, incidental. What's the logic here that has taken you in the direction of putting it that far out into the future? I look across here, see the general plan, we have a lot of activity, Ukiah Valley area plan, a little less activity, and then the housing element, which is much smaller comparatively in terms of the workload, even smaller. But the coastal plan updates, once again, it bothers me a little bit to see coastal plan or coastal being given less even space on the page. Let's leave it at that. And I'd like to hear the logic of not being able to move that data review, bringing it closer into July, June, and so forth, as compared to what is happening with regard to these other three parts to your work plan.
Okay, well, they're definitely related. The two main projects are the general plan and the Ukiah Valley area plan with the, I mean, if you look at it like an orchestra, there's the string section, and I don't know what the other heavy hitter would be, the drums or something, and then you've got the housing element as a constant kind of in the background, flutes, whatever. And to be honest, the coastal plan, Mendocino Town Plan stuff, one was very dependent on getting the third planner position filled with Jessica being on board, and she was also part-time for the first 6 months of this fiscal year. So this is definitely a weaving in of what the staff resources are, and there are no contract or consulting resources for the Mendocino Town Plan or Coastal Plan, and so it's entirely dependent on when staff have time to work on it. So I think the July-August timeframe represented an individual